All right, so I wanted to respond to this comment right here that was left on one of my videos. But before we get into it, I just want to give a little bit of a background on who I am, what I'm all about, just in case you're just stumbling across this video. You don't know anything about my channel. So I hope to someday in the future become the governor of Connecticut. When I say sometime in the future, I mean distant. I'm thinking 20 years, maybe even like 24 years out in the future from now. I have a idea in mind on what I'm going to do on how to work my way up to that status where I can actually comfortably run for that position. But in the meantime, what I want to do is use this platform to make videos and just kind of talk about my positions and my ideas and, maybe some political banter in general, whether it's about, nationwide politics or it's just local to our governor. Or whatever it might be. I just want to get my ideas out there, though, so that way then hopefully I can build a following of people who understand who I am and what I envision for the state and all that. So that when the time comes when I can run for the position, I have a well-established campaign already that I've been working on for 20-something years, and then my campaign is a lot easier at that time. Now it's just me just going out, meeting people face-to-face, and, not having to campaign as hard. So anyways, this comment was left on a video that I made talking about the recent storm that we had in the Northeast here at the end of January, January 23rd and 24th, I think it was. It was relatively significant. It was the snowfall. We had like, I don't know, an inch an hour, sometimes possibly even more than that. I think overall, when it was all said and done, we had like 17 inches total. So anyways, my idea that I pitched was I said that I would shut down the state from Sunday at noon until Monday at noon. My logic for that is because I was thinking about when I used to work at minimum wage places like McDonald's and Dunkin's and all that. And, were the owners there? No, they're nice and safe at home, but they expect you to be there. And if you're late, do they ever have any kind of compassion and understanding like, hey, it's crappy out? Nope. They get mad that you're late. And it's always just been a ridiculous situation. And I always thought, why do these places even have to be open for? Who needs to go out in this weather? Like, why do you think you need to go out in this weather? Just be home. Why can't you just be home? And so that's why I thought if I was governor, I'd make it so people were just home. You don't have a choice. You have to be home, nice and safe. And it just makes everything else easier. Not only are you just home where you're safe, your vehicle's safe, but then you can work on cleaning your yard or not yard, but your driveway and sidewalk and whatever while it's snowing. Not, oh, I got to work and then go home and now there's going to be, 9 inches of snow I got to deal with. No, you've been home and you can deal with it the whole time. I had good intentions with this idea, But this guy, not really sure what his true credentials are. I mean, his name is Disney Dad Bod, so I don't really know what he does. Who knows? He could be pretty credentialed. He just has a goofy name for entertainment towards his kids or something. I don't know. But he says, shutting down an entire state for a snowstorm in the Northeast? Exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, question mark. Mandatory shutdowns of private businesses? If this is your serious stance, I'm not sure trying to become governor is for you. You would be hit, and it kind of cuts it off, but there's one that says, I think it says something like, with so many lawsuits and blah, blah, blah. And then he says at the end something like, it's just snow, relax. Okay. First off, on that relax part, I mean, it was significant, okay? And I'm just trying to make everybody be safe instead of having people think they have to be out on these crappy roads. I mean, in all fairness, I had to go out on Monday at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Mind you, the snow ended at like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning on Monday. By 4, the roads were still absolute trash. I saw somebody skid out in front of me and almost crash into a gutter. I saw somebody get stuck on a hill. I was having a semi-rough time in my truck. The road sucked still, okay? So my point is obviously the weather was very bad. And, I think people being home would have been a good idea. And letting the roads just be free for the plows to do what they have to do would be a good idea. But regardless, okay? If this guy has any validity in his criticism of my idea, I just want to say a couple things. One, he says, if this is your serious stance, I'm not sure trying to become governor is for you. Okay, if this is a bad idea, if my idea is a little over-exaggerated, overreacted, or whatever, it's one idea, okay? Check out my channel, see some of my other ideas. If I have one bad idea and, 20 good ideas, or however many videos I've made so far, Does it really mean I'd be a bad governor because of one idea? I mean, come on. Let's look at our current governor. He's a failure. He doesn't do anything for us. He was elected by, well, not by me. I didn't vote for him, but, by enough people so he could win. And does he do anything for anybody? No. One thing that I know people are regularly complaining about is how they want him to do something about our electric bills and gas bills and all that. And has he done anything? Nope. He don't care. So this guy's a massive failure. If a massive failure like him can be governor, pretty sure I can handle it just fine with one bad idea. There's also plenty more other ideas I'm going to have to come that I'm sure a lot of people will think are good ideas. So one bad idea out of a whole bunch, not that bad. Also, these are all like, I almost feel like new ideas that nobody's ever tried before. So in the whole history of the state and however many governors we've had, I have all these ideas that nobody's tried before. And now here's one that I have that might be a failed idea. Might not be as good as I thought it was off the top of my head. Like, okay, fine. We won't do this one then. But here's the other thing to keep in mind. Right now, I'm just a guy, okay? I'm nobody. I'm not in politics. I'm not even in my local politics yet. I'm waiting for my daughter to be an adult with her own life going, and then I'll worry about getting into politics. Until then, I'm focused on her. So, I'm nothing. What I say here has no bearing on any kind of policies. It's just ideas. It's just me talking to you with an idea. So, if I have a wild take and a bad idea, it really doesn't matter. Who cares? It's just an idea. It's just words that I'm saying to you and you listened to. It has no power over anything. I'm just pitching ideas, trying to build up a case for myself in a long-term campaign. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Second thing is, because of this, this is where people like you can chime in and correct me if I'm too way off in left field without realizing. So that when the time does come, and I do actually try to be governor, then I know, ooh, that was a bad idea because I had backlash on it. I guess I won't do that. And then also, if I was governor, I obviously have a whole team around me. I have my chief of staff. I have my lieutenant governor. I have the head of labor, head of transportation, head of whatever else. All these people in a cabinet around me that if I pitch something like this, some of them could be like, whoa, we got to pump the brakes on that a little. I see where you're coming from, but not the best idea. It's going to cause more problems than you might have realized. And then obviously we'd talk about it and refine it. Either A, we would refine it and be able to pitch a better idea that's more suitable and doesn't result in lawsuits and all this. Or B, we just scrap it. I'd be like, well, I was trying to do something good for the people, but fine, we won't do anything, I guess. So, that doesn't mean one bad idea that comes out of my head alone is going to make me a bad governor. It's a talking point. It's a start, and then you build on it. It's just like right now, I'm an engineer. That's my job currently. You have R&D. So you R&D something, maybe the design's not too great, but you talk about it internally, you talk about it with the customer. They give you more insights as to what they're thinking, then I go back to the drawing board, I change it up a little, and then present a new idea. Now maybe this idea is perfect, and they're like, yep, that's what we're looking for. Or, hey, that's even better than we were thinking. Or, gotta tweak it a little more, but eventually it gets there. And, the design was all through me. I did it. I made the prints, I made the design, etc., but it was almost like a collaborative effort. You gave me the idea. I worked on it. We talked about it after I had a prototype. We tweaked it as needed. Same as this. It's my idea, but it can be massaged and reworked and, maybe reduced. Maybe it's up here, but this is too much. But maybe down here, not so bad. And that's what my team around me, all those heads I said, and even people in the meantime could help work towards, so that ideas that maybe are a little too much can be, okay, we can deal with that. So anyways, not criticizing this comment or anything, I just wanted to talk about it because I was going to type a response to his comment, but I was like, yeah, I kind of have a lot to say, so how about I just make a video instead and we can just talk about it. So yeah, that's all I got. Thanks for listening to this, and as always, have a wonderful day.